writing, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so what did we decide is the claim that the author is trying to make? Let's flip it over and let's find it. Let's find it in our reading where we highlighted it. All right, Lucas, tell me where you found the claim in the first paragraph. The highlighted. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking at, for our claim, litter must stop or trash will continuously build up in the ocean. So we're going to flip it back over, and that is what we're going to write in the first space. Hey guys, let's try to keep it a little bit more quiet, please. I can. Okay, I'll help them. You guys look at two pieces of evidence that support the reasons for making the claim, right? We decided on according to. Yeah. Okay. I was going to say, we skipped down to, instead of going in the order of the questions, we did our claim and then we went down to evidence first and then we're going to go back to reasoning. Just because that's how we've learned the process, but you can do it either way, it doesn't matter. All right, so we decided on two pieces of evidence according to, and we said what? According to who? National Geographic. Many of these animals often mistake plastic bags for jellyfish. So we could write something like, according to National Geographic, colon, do we know what a colon is? Dot, dot, right? And that way, instead of rewriting that and taking up space and time, we can just... Right here. According to National Geographic. You could even write Nat Geo. That's what we used to call it when I was younger. According to Nat Geo. Yeah. And that way you're not having to rewrite, because the way that they introduce the evidence is the same for both, according to National Geographic. Okay, and then I might put, so according to National Geographic, according to Nat Geo, and then I might put bags for jellyfish, so that we know what we're talking about. And then we've got our other National Geographic over here, but again, we're not rewriting that because we've put the colon so we can put both of our examples. And what might you put to abbreviate that sentence there, instead of writing out that whole long thing? What do you guys think? What is if you're reading out this whole sentence, and this whole sentence says, according to National Geographic, these chemicals become more concentrated when contaminated animals eat other contaminated animals. So how could we summarize that and say, this is what this sentence is about? What kind of animals? Contaminated. So that I would put, for your second sentence, I would just put contaminated animals. Hey boys, let's concentrate on the work, okay? A lot of commotion going on back here. So let's skip back up to the question that we had before. What are the two reasons in the article that support the claim? So we have our claim, and we have our two pieces of evidence. So what are some of the reasons that these specific pieces of evidence work for us? Look at the next one. So we've got our first one, according to Nat Geo, many of these animals often mistake plastic bags for jellyfish in the open ocean, right? Look down at that next sentence. Tanner, read that really loud for me. Yeah.
While over 200 species live around the ocean are negatively affected by plastic waste.
So do we think maybe that's a good reason? If we've got our evidence with Nat Geo, right, that they mistake plastic bags, well, our reasoning is because 200 species in and around the ocean are negatively affected by plastic waste. So let's put, if we're going to abbreviate it, let's put 200 animals, or 200 species, sorry, affected by plastic waste. I would almost say that could be evidence as well, if we knew where it came from.
We do this.
You got it? Here, if you want to look. That way you don't have to keep flipping back and forth. Well, honey? Nope, we're going to work on that in just a second. You did. But that's okay, just right over top of it. Yeah, we're not doing this one.
It's like the same question. So don't do this yet?
It's not exactly. So, hey, listen to me. Let's pause for just a second. So we're going to continue working. If you've completed these, we're going to go over them in just a second, but for time's sake, if you would like to get started on this, on the other page, right, that only has 3 spaces, the last question says, write a paragraph in which you explain your opinion on the topic. Be sure to use text evidence to support your response, okay? So you don't really have to make it a claim. It is a claim, but you're going to be doing more of what? Voicing your opinion on what you think about the dangers of trash in the ocean are. And you're going to pull evidence from this article to support that. Okay? This is what I need turned in before you leave today. So if you finish this other side and you feel confident about it, we'll go over it in just a second. But so we're not sitting there with idle time, I want you to start working on this part. Okay?
Oh, I thought we were doing counterpoint. Nope.
Yeah, I still want you, if you haven't finished this page, then keep working on it, that's fine. But I've got some people that are saying, hey, I'm done, so then you can start working on the paragraph. Yeah, we're not finished over here either. All right, so we have one reason, right? So let's look at our second piece of evidence that we use. According to Nat Geo, these chemicals become more contaminated when concentrated when contaminated animals eat other contaminated animals. So what's the reason for using this piece of evidence? What's the next sentence say? Daniela, will you read that for me? Right, so they're saying this directly affects us because we're the ones at the top of the food chain, and that's the reason why this fact is important, because it's going to affect us. So we could put bad news for the top of the food chain, and then humans. Oh, sorry, I was typing the wrong one. Bad news for top of the food chain.